Sit back, relax, put your belt on, and enjoy the show.
All right, let's push on. Super Rugby Aotearoa. You had the Highlanders going down 19 to Geordie Barrett 30. 3 tries each. Sorry, the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes 30. 3 tries each for them. Returning, you had Parry Parkinson finally coming back from his ankle reconstruction last year. Kazuki Himeno made his debut off the bench for the side and absolutely tore it up. Aiden Johnson came back from a concussion injury he suffered back, I think, in training in the lead up to the North vs South New Zealand game last year. So big comeback for him, and congratulations from coming back from what's obviously a pretty scary injury there. Dane Coles from his calf injury, and Scott Scrafton coming back from a pretty serious ankle injury and run out round 1 as well. I didn't see any injuries in this one. Maybe I'm missing something because there's always injuries, but I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, look, I didn't see anything either. But just on that, Geordie Barrett scoring 30 points, I'm pretty sure the previous week the Highlanders had the top points scored against them by an individual player, and that was Richie Mo'unga for 28. So Geordie Barrett said, hold my beer, and did 2 better. That's pretty brilliant.
Yeah, it's not bad.
In terms of the possession and territory, it went the way of the Highlanders with 67% possession, 70% territory. But, I mean, I didn't watch a lot of this game. How did you see this one going, Mitch?
This game was one I was most keen to watch, mainly because I was getting updates as I was driving down the coast for the Bucks. Because my mate just gave me Geordie Barrett in a trade, and it was just screaming obscenity. He's like, I regret everything. He's tearing up. So I'm like, well, all right, got to come watch this. I don't know how the Highlanders lost this. Like, they were just running the ball so much better. They had so much possession. And I think when there was a yellow card down the Hurricanes, and they wasted so much time trying to get this rolling maul try, they just weren't effective with anything they did.
Yeah.
The Hurricanes, on the other hand, were just really efficient. The 3 tries Geordie Barrett got weren't actually that impressive. They were, I shouldn't say that impressive. They weren't that well worked. You know, Geordie Barrett just beat one-on-one defender off the first try he got. Rayasi had the really cute offload inside for the second, then, you know, got lucky with the third. Like, they really just capitalized on the few moments they were near the try line. They didn't really play very well, but credit to them. They just really efficient.
I think one disruption for the Highlanders is, what are they doing with Josh Ioane and Hunt, you know, swapping them around so much? I actually was chatting to someone who is quite good friends with some of the coaching staff there, and apparently the reports are Josh Ioane is a horrible person to be coached and trainer. So it seems like it could actually be a reoccurring thing where they're almost punishing him to try and sort his shit out, and that obviously he isn't sorting his shit out.
All right.
What else is the other excuse, you know, as well? Like, I mean, that's coming from someone who's discussed this with their coach, but also, you know, what's the other excuse? Because on field, he is awesome. And Hunt hasn't been, you know, to the level of what he hasn't been bad. And he actually played not too bad at 15. But I mean, Josh Ioane's not a 15.
No.
It makes no sense to me.
Do you think it worked? What do you think, Mitch?
I've never really liked the dual playmaker combo. And I think when they've got other outside backs, I know Solomon Alamolo's injured at the moment, but I should have really put the inflection in there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But Connor Gardner-Machop, even, like, he could have played 15 and done, I reckon, a better job with Ioane, pushed back to 10. And Ioane can still play make. He comes into first receiver a lot. One of the tries I got at the end, I think it was Gardner-Machop's try at the end. Ioane did the beautiful cutout, you know, perfect pass. I thought,
so good.
Well, Hunt's not doing that. Hunt's, you know, beating a few defenders because no one's marking up on him because he's 60 kilos ringing wet. But Ioane does all the stuff you want your playmaker to do. I'd rather just get another outside back, you know, in that 15 jersey, just so they can attack a bit more efficiently and actually, you know, have a few more threats out there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Look, when we look at the actual stats, it goes the way of what we were saying, right? The Highlanders 494 to 188 meters, 32 to 11 tackle busts, 8 to 4 line breaks, 12 to 4 offloads. There was a lot there, but they just weren't finishing it all off. In terms of the set piece as well, for the lineouts, the Highlanders had 14 from 16, the Canes 9 from 11. But if we look at the scrums, it was still, it was good for both of them. Rolling Maul try to Brent Evans though. How good was that?
Yeah. So how about the Highlanders try? They throw back to number 2 off the top. They shift it back straight to Parry Parkinson and then start their Rolling Maul and score off that. That was awesome. Yeah, I love those little trick plays in lineouts and just the change in where they were actually attacking the maul. I thought it worked very, very well. And man, I reckon they're some of the best tries to watch.
One of the funnest things to ever do is if you're running a line out for a team, which I have the last few years, is adding in those trick plays, especially if the team thinks they know a driving more is coming. That little shift can be brilliant. But fantasy man of the match in this one, no surprises. Geordie Barrett with 82 points, 3 tries, 3 conversions, 3 penalty kicks, all their points literally. 4 runs for 21 metres, 3 line breaks, 4 tackle busts. For the Highlanders, you had Shannon Frizzell, 63, Josh Ioane, 54, Mitch Hunt, 44. For the Canes, no one else really.
We're still standing
One-man team.
We're still standing by the fact that maybe Liam Squire's going to come back and actually show some form or not.
No, he's out for the season.
Is he?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone for the season.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So I highly doubt he's coming back.
Yeah.
His knee's been re-aggravated, and they reckon he just needs time.
Oh, thanks for the heads up for that.
Oh, no, I put it up on our platform.
Oh, okay. Chiefs versus the Blues. Mitch, give us your take.
This game was probably one of the ones that I was the most surprised by. We were out at a pub getting updates from this. I kept thinking, gee, Blues 12-8, they're leading. Like, they can hold on to this. Like, they can't lose, sure. They just got the caliber of team that, like, they shouldn't be able to drop this. But Chiefs were relentless. And I think it was probably the first time I've seen more than 1 or 2 players step up. Like, most of their team was playing probably as you'd expect them to and in good form.
Yep.
Luke Jacobson's been a freak at number 8. And probably, the best thing, given they haven't had Boshier for the season.
I think we're going to nickname him Clutch. That's I'm sticking by it. The more the tension rises in a game, the better he starts to play. The amount of times he pulls a penalty, makes a line break in the last 5 minutes is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, he starts off faster in the 80th minute than the first. I don't know how he does, but yeah, him and Mackenzie just did a great job, I thought, leading the forwards and backs respectively. So really impressive from the Chiefs, and I hope it sort of turns the season around. But at the same time, I got half the Blues team in my fantasy side, so I kind of need them to step it up.
Is it any surprise it was those 2 blokes that for the last 2 weeks have made the Chiefs win in the dying moments?
Can I just clarify, Mitch? Are you with us here? Luke Jacobson leading the forward pack from the Chiefs. Obviously, there's another player in there that many think's a bit of a leader. Where do you sit on this one?
Look, I like Sam Cane.
We like him.
Everyone likes him.
No one doesn't
like him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's shown anything that forces a position in there, which is the tough thing. Like, I think Boshi he was better in 2020. I thought so cool. He's got that bulk. Jacobson obviously has been playing this great game. Sam Cane's a great leader, makes a lot of tackles, but I think the others probably do their jobs just as well.
I knew you liked
you're
him.
On Team Dale then, not
Yeah.
Team Cargie.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. We won't probe you anymore on that.
On Sam Cane, not sure if he actually had an arm injury. He came off with 16 minutes to go or something, which he never comes off, and he was kind of looking a bit ginger on his right side, but we haven't heard any more on that. You did have a couple of returning players as well for the Blues. Both Talea and Papali'i came back from concussions, and you had Peter Gus Sowakula finally making his return from a knee injury as well. I did catch you off, Mitch. Anything else on this one?
No, I think that was pretty much it. There's a lot of flack about Terry Black and Harry Plummer. I think they've had some games where their 10-12 combo looks fantastic, and this one was a dog's breakfast. Like, Plummer did literally nothing. I think I had his stats: 56 minutes, 4 passes, 4 from 6 tackles, 2 runs, no meters, no kicks, a drop pass. Like, just
What was he doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and he's just covering that midfield where you got TJ Faiani on the bench, who is a very established 12 and probably should be starting.
Okay.
And then Taniela. Yeah. And then Talea as well. I want him probably coming on the bench just as that center and wing combo. He can cover those. So, look, Plummer had been solid up until then, but that was, shocking, I think.
I just don't think that you can keep picking Black. Like, the amount of smoke that gets blown up this bloke's backside. Dead set. He kicked awfully in play. He kept kicking too long into the 22 so D-Mac could just catch it on the full. And then he kicked it goal poorly as well. Like, his whole game is about composure and controlling the flow of the game. He didn't do it at all.
He did some horrible passes.
I'm still thinking exactly like Josh Ioane, para franchise, is the man that should be standing at 10. He's got such a good ability to attack the game, good hands, good vision. He offers every kind of threat that you need from a 10 in a modern game. I just don't understand why they keep making these picks. It's almost like New Zealand are trying to play away from the Bowden Barrett, Richie Mo'unga style of fly half.
Yeah, I was chatting to an Auckland fan before the match, and he was just telling me how good Black is and that, no, you can't put Perifetta at 10. Black is amazing. I messaged him after that game talking about how junk he was, and he goes, yeah, Black for ABs. Like, they still just have faith in him. I don't know why. Like, he's a talented young player, but he's just not doing it at the moment. So, I mean, if you're losing games to the Chiefs in these clutch moments, you really need someone standing up, and it wasn't him.
Yeah.
If we jump across to, I reckon we just go straight into fantasy man of the match for this one. Quinn Tapia, he just had an absolute blinder. This is the best I've ever seen him play. And the first I've really decided that, I think he should be a starting centre for them week in, week out. He was awesome in this one.
I mean, except for the fact that he threw the ball away every single time he made a line break, like literally every single time.
He beat a lot of defenders.
Doesn't matter, mate. If you make a line break and then give the ball to them, how have you actually helped your team?
Let's not say he's Pattaya bad at that, right? But
he was on the weekend. 100% he was.
He made 12 runs for 89 metres, 4 line breaks, 9 tackle busts, 2 offloads, and 9 from 10 tackles. I think it was his best game for sure. Still a few work-ons. For the Chiefs, you had Takiaho, 66, D-Mac, 56, Luke Jacobson, 55. And for the Blues, you had Papali'i with 58.
So 2 things. D-Mac's hit on Mark Talea, huge.
Yeah.
Reminiscent of his tackle on Fangaranuku, which was also ridiculous and should have been a stop for a try. His defence has just stepped up a notch this year. And Dalton Papali'i, you mentioned as a fantasy man of the fantasy player this week as well. 20 of 21 tackles, 4 turnovers, and I think he had a few forced penalties as well. I thought he was immense for the Blues.
Yeah, we've been big fans of him. Are you a fan of him, Mitch?
Massive fan of him, but this is where it comes down to their biggest headache is how do you fit their back row all together? Because Tom Robinson's probably been their most consistent player, and he's been on the bench every game. Like, he just comes on, and he's got a line break in him every match. It always sets up a try. Like, he's been unreal. So whether he comes in lock or...
This is our preview question, mate, for the Blues. So we'll dig right in.
Yeah, we'll dig in a little bit.
Lovely.